Going all in against the giant dragon, our MC arrives tearing through the sky. Throwing some ceiling scrolls, the magic is already glowing bright in his hands. Right then, a massive lightning bolt hits the beast head-on, lighting up the whole screen. The spear pierces right through the creature's body and it splatters everywhere. Looking totally wild and covered in battle mess, our boy can hardly believe what he just pulled off. After that brutal takedown, the crowd is legit wondering if this kid is even human. Flashing back, we find out the beast lived for 999 years. As a spiritual being, it only needed one more year to become a full-blown dragon. Filled with rage, the creature realizes they brought a custom-made talisman just to take down divine beasts. With a soul-shaking roar, the monster wonders where all this grudge came from for them to do him so dirty. With zero respect, our little MC calls the beast an idiot, laughing right in its face. Beaten on the ground, the creature asks what the point of the fight was, and the kid bluntly replies he doesn't need any of that stuff. Turning his back and all bruised up, the kid mentions he was just paying off a debt to his benefactor. Running on fumes, he looks up at the sky and asks if that was finally enough. Furious all over again, the beast blows smoke out of its nose, demanding to know what dreaded name he was talking about. Suddenly, a colossal explosion takes over everything, swallowing the scene in flames. Fading out of existence, our boy laments if his destiny was really just to go out in such a lame way. But a sudden heartbeat makes his eyes pop wide open, realizing he's still breathing. Inside some spooky spiritual form, he notices his mana is totally drained, but his body is still packing serious strength. Totally ticked off, he yells into the void, asking if they really thought he'd just roll over because his magic got sealed. Unleashing a monstrous red aura, the kid swears he's gonna settle the score right then and there. Except the dust quickly settles, revealing nothing but some weird shards scattered on the floor. With zero strength to stand up, he realizes he can barely drag himself through the shadows. Everywhere he looks, the view is unreal, glowing mountains of gold in a massive hall. Right in the middle, it's pretty obvious this bizarre place is absolutely stacked with rare and epic loot. Curious about this insane flex, he wonders what kind of crazy guy owns all this hoarded wealth. Coming face to face with a stone tablet right in the middle of the coins, he notices some engraved writing on it. Reading the sad message, he finds out it's a dedication to a child who never got to see the light of day. It instantly hits him like a truck that this whole place is actually a baby's tomb. Suddenly, a giant red eye snaps open in shock, wondering if that mountain of treasure was supposed to be the kid's crib. Thinking about paying his respects, he raises his little hand to say a polite prayer. Giving his own skin a little squeeze, he feels a soft and squishy texture that makes absolutely zero sense. Staring at his own reflection, he's totally floored to see he turned into a cute little critter, instantly complaining about his new face. Waving his tiny little arms, the panic really sets in because his paw's reach is straight up pathetic. Poking his chubby belly, his outrage only grows when he realizes he's way too chunky for a warrior. Sitting on the floor looking like a total goof, he tries to process why his body turned into this harmless little fluffball. Next to the coins, the humiliation gets real as he notices he's smaller than a rat compared to the cash. In full panic mode, the little guy screams internally, denying with all his might that this pathetic thing is actually him. Defeated in the middle of the gold, he finally accepts he fell victim to the classic reincarnation trope. Way too confused by the whole situation, he scratches his furry head, trying to make sense of it all. Putting the crying aside, our new mascot decides to explore the place to see if he can find anything useful. Rummaging through the discarded items, he finds spiritual swords and sealed magic, heavily judging the tomb owner's taste. Face to face with a weird shield, he discovers a super cliché petrification curse for anyone who looks right at it. In a little corner of the room, he spots another classic curse on an apple that causes eternal hunger. Noticing a blue flask near the chest, he reads about a useless potion that trades your voice for legs. Huffing in annoyance at all the junk, our little MC figures they gathered these weird energies to seal away something dangerous. Suddenly, his attention gets hijacked by a little red stone glowing in the middle of the jewels. Looking up, he tries to figure out if the thing rolled all the way down from the top of the gold mountain. Speechless, the little guy's eyes bulge out when he spots a colossal chest bursting with valuables. Drooling at the sight, the full view reveals a giant slope made purely of straight-up wealth. Over the moon, he hops around for joy, celebrating the jackpot while holding the stone. Running like a maniac across the coins, he realizes it's not just some random jewel but a legit magical artifact. With the dark crystal in his paws, the connection is instant as he feels the exact same energy from his past life. Eyes on the prize, he decides right then and there that this overpowered item has to be his, no matter what. Trying to rip the jewel from its stand, the critter strains like crazy because the fitting is super tight. Shaking from the effort, he puts all his weight into his little paw, confident the thing is gonna pop loose. With a violent yank, the sound of grinding metal echoes through the golden hall. Thrown on his back into the gold after failing, the frustration hits hard when he sees the stone didn't budge a single millimeter. Growling in anger, he goes back on the offensive, pulling the jewel with pure spite, thinking it just needs one more tug. Right then, his little paw slips bad, and our boy loses his balance, flying backward totally clueless. Tumbling down the mountain of gold while hugging the crystal, he promises himself he's not letting go of this loot for anything. Like a little furball, he rolls all the way down, groaning with every harsh bump against the coins. Rubbing the bump on his head, the chubby guy complains that in his old life, a fall like this wouldn't even tickle. At least the dark jewel stayed intact and safe in his paws after the nasty spill. Immediately, a sinister tremor starts shaking the entire hall, making the coins literally jump on their own. Getting goosebumps from head to toe, the air pressure gets so heavy that our MC just freezes in place. Popping out of nowhere, a blue energy tears through space, confirming that some insane entity is entering the chat. Facing this threat, the kid admits that not even in his prime would he be completely sure of a win here. But his pride speaks louder and he decides not to back down. After all, he's still a divine black dragon. Right in the middle of the room, a giant, swirling portal stabilizes, completely stealing the show. A colossal, glowing claw steps firmly onto the coins, showing everyone who's really the boss around here. Slowly, a gigantic blue eye opens up, scanning the room with silent fury. Majestic and terrifying, a colossal golden dragon raises its head, ready to strike. Acting tough, our tiny MC asks if the overgrown lizard thinks it can intimidate him just by flexing its aura. With a smirk, the little critter growls confidently, making it crystal clear he's not backing up a single millimeter. Fired up, our MC lets out a roar right back to show who's running the show. Except the light fades and reveals a giant fox spirit just staring the kid down. Just then, an adorably tiny sneeze escapes the critter, completely shattering the tense vibe. Full of pity, the golden creature realizes it's just a newborn pup. Completely letting its guard down, the beast figures the little guy is scared out of his mind. Shaking with indignation, our boy is absolutely floored by the sheer audacity of this animal. All of a sudden, the giant fox transforms into a drop-dead gorgeous blonde woman. Scooping the little furball into her arms, she asks if this human form makes him feel a bit safer. Right after, she introduces herself as Christina, while the kid tries his best to process what just happened. Surrounded by gold, she notices the little mascot hasn't eaten a single thing yet. Inside his own head, our MC thinks this is ridiculous, since in his past life he could go months without grabbing a bite. But his stomach growls super loud, totally selling him out and making the lady let out a little smile. Freaked out by his own body, the critter can't understand how he got nerfed so hard. Once again, his stomach screams, proving that animal instincts are totally beating out his logic. Wasting zero time, the blonde goddess starts cooking up some creation magic in her hands. Curious about the glow, our little MC tries to figure out what the heck this woman is crafting now. Magically, a perfect little baby bottle appears, ready to cure the pup's hunger. As soon as the bottle pops open, the sweet smell starts wafting through the treasure room. Sniffing the air, the little guy takes a deep breath and feels the aroma just take over his brain. Drooling like a maniac, he realizes it's straight-up milk and the panic kicks in. With all the patience in the world, Christina offers him the tasty little snack. Playing hard to get, she pretends to put it away, teasingly asking if he really doesn't want it. Slowly, the bottle starts moving away, leaving the starving guy in absolute shock. Going into full panic mode, the chubby little dude's eyes go wide, unable to believe her audacity. In a desperate leap, our boy grabs the bottle, squeaking in full-on mascot language. Laughing it off, the blonde lady mentions how the little baby was absolutely starving. Latched onto the bottle, the MC tries to keep his pride intact, thinking it's just regular milk. But the flavor explodes in his mouth, revealing it's literally the most delicious thing in the universe. Melting with cuteness overload, the guardian asks if it's yummy while he just chugs it nonstop. Giving him a super sweet look, she catches his attention for a very special invitation. Reaching out her hand, the blonde goddess asks the little guy to leave this place with her. Right off the bat, she promises him that the outside world has way tastier stuff to offer. Because of the language barrier, our MC just pieces the message together from the vibe. After doing a quick scan of the area, he realizes there's literally nothing useful left besides cold hard cash. Doing the math, the kid concludes that trying to survive solo in this pathetic body is basically game over. Clinging to his dark jewel, he swears to himself that this decision has absolutely zero to do with the milk. With short, determined little steps, the furball waddles right toward his new babysitter. Giving the mascot a warm hug, Christina officially welcomes him to the crew. Pressing her face against the chubby little guy, she genuinely thanks him for being born and making it out okay. Surprised by all this affection, the kid finds it super weird that someone is thankful just because he exists. Even though he thinks the whole thing is super cheesy, the kid admits the hug is actually pretty warm. Thanks to the tombstone, our little MC figures out the original soul of this body has already checked out permanently. Noticing the purple stone, the blonde lady asks if it's a gift or if he wants her to keep it safe for him. Squishing his cheeks, the goddess says she doesn't want to see her little protege acting all gloomy in the corner. Totally thrown off by the crazy amount of pampering, he wonders how this woman can be so ridiculously sweet. Turning their backs on the gold mountain, the duo finally bounces from that gloomy tomb. Snuggled up on her shoulder, our hero decides to be forever grateful for this second chance. For the last time, the camera focuses on the lonely tombstone chilling in the middle of all the abandoned wealth. With a look of pure spite, the kid swears he is never going out in such a pathetic way again. Vowing to use every cheat code available, the boy's ambition fires up for real. After a time skip, we see the lazy bum snoring away on a bed decked out in jewels. As soon as his eyes pop open, the morning laziness takes over his fluffy little body. After a good stretch, the critter extends his whole body to shake off the sleep. Ready to lock in on his training, he admits he's actually gotten pretty used to this harmless form. Breathing perfectly, the kid goes into serious mode to start cultivating his mana. It's super obvious that this new body pulls an energy without even breaking a sweat. Just remembering Christina's magic, our MC realizes the spells in this world are straight up broken. Completely dialed in, he channels the power to his inner core, which desperately needs a level up. Outside, the majestic palace proves that his training spot is an absolute mana paradise. Feeling himself, the chubby dude celebrates the fact that his new body is 100% pure for grinding stats. But since good things never last, there's still one single thing getting on our boy's nerves. Right behind his ear, an annoying light fairy won't stop flapping its little wings and making a racket. Facing the glowing bug, the kid calls the thing a creepy little spy. Poking it in the forehead a few times, the MC tries to figure out if this pest ever actually sleeps. It's all the overprotective babysitter's fault for leaving that guard dog there to watch the baby. Because of the fairy's eagle eye, the hardcore training session had to be totally scrapped. Whenever the little guy tries to sneak away, the snitch runs straight back to tattle to the blonde goddess. Last time, Christina showed up pulling his ear, warning him that it's dangerous outside. As a consolation prize, the mascot notices his internal mana is growing at an insane pace. With a full tank, our MC decides it's finally time to test out a real skill. Soon, a pink energy fills the room, locking onto spatial teleportation. Magic sparks wrap around his cute little body, showing the spell is just about to pop off. Focused on the mission, the boy's eyes shine with absolute determination. In the blink of an eye, the magic bursts in the room, making it look like everything went perfectly. Except the teleportation completely flops, and he thinks it would be way easier if he could just smack the spy around. Totally ticked off, he swears he'll come up with a countermeasure against the glowing snitch as soon as possible. But right after, his little body glitches out, and he can't even pronounce the spell right. Whining on the floor, our MC realizes trying to use advanced spells at this size is just brutal. And to make things worse, the fairy keeps rubbing up against him, all lovey-dovey, while he's dying of embarrassment. All of a sudden, an insane presence of mana totally grabs his attention. Dropping from the sky with a divine aura, Christina makes a grand entrance. Jumping for joy, the chubby little dude dashes right at her because it's finally chow time. Super affectionate, the babysitter makes a big fuss, calling him a good boy and serving up lunch. But then she wonders if the milk phase is over and asks if he's ready for some meat. Inside his head, the starving guy vigorously agrees, praising the goddess for her big brain energy. With a smug grin, our kid thinks he's the smartest divine beast in the universe. And by the looks of it, his manipulation tactics are working like a charm. Totally ignoring what he wants, the blonde picks the little guy up, thinking he just wants some cuddles. Accepting his fate, the freeloader decides to play nice just to secure the food for later. Enjoying the snuggle session, Christina squeezes the chubby guy, hyping up how cute he is. While he chugs the bottle, the goddess admits she totally lost track of time. Finally, with the snack in his mouth, our MC focuses only on what really matters. Savoring the divine milk, he decides that putting on that whole act was 100% worth it. Drinking it like a champ, the kid's eyes light up every time the flavor hits. It's always around this time that Christina takes the chance to sit next to him and chat. He low-key confesses that listening to other people's stories was never really his jam in the past. Even without understanding the language, the chubby guy notices his presence actually calms the babysitter down. Looking at the blonde's relaxed face, he sees how she just drops all her stress when he's around. Thanks to hanging out so much, our little MC realizes he's already picking up a bunch of words in the local language. With a sweet smile, the goddess gears up to say something important. After finishing the meal, he confirms his tank is full and he's good to go. Striking up a conversation, Christina clasps her hands together, asking for a tiny favor with puppy dog eyes. Full of pride, he grumbles about how humiliating it is to pretend to be cute just for some milk. But without skipping a beat, the angel face pops up instinctively. Deep down, the little rascal justifies it by saying it's just basic manners to pay back someone's kindness. Captivated by the cuteness, the blonde can't resist and gives the chubby guy another squeeze. Barely able to breathe, the kid mentally complains he's getting crushed by his benefactor. Petting him softly, the goddess wishes for him to live a long and happy life. Faced with such genuine words, our hero's heart can't help but melt a little. Admiring the babysitter's beauty and kindness, he admits she's honestly an amazing person. Flashbacks show that he was never on the receiving end of affection back in the day. Jumping back in the timeline, a female figure asks him if he seriously enjoys training that much. Complaining, she says the guy lives locked up in there just because of his blind obsession to ascend. Without saying a word, the kid from the past just listens as she asks if he's actually happy. Giving him a little pat on the head, the girl calls him a dummy for being so single-minded. Tired of the jokes, he claps back, asking what exactly she means by that. Straight up, the girl asks him once again if he has ever felt true happiness. Digging up memories, she claims he's never known what it feels like to be adored. With a cold speech, he declares there's no room for pointless stuff in the life of a future dragon. Firing back, the girl points out she's also about to become a celestial fox, and you don't see her being all bitter. Switching to a serious tone, she drops a bomb, revealing her plan to turn human. Shocked, the guy can only think that the whole idea is pure madness. Blushing hard, she confesses she found someone special to love. Walking barefoot, she explains that when you love someone that much, wanting to give back is just natural. Turning her back, the girl hopes for the day he'll finally get what that feeling is all about. Mocking her, the guy laughs, claiming that kind of nonsense is never happening to him. Looking sad, she warns him that if she turns human, she won't be able to visit him in that place anymore. Even so, the guy swallows his pride and wishes his old friend a good life. Getting teary-eyed, the girl asks why he's looking like somebody just passed away. Mumbling something you can't even hear, the guy tries to dodge the emotional moment. Super ticked off, the girl yells that she hates everything about him, calling him an idiot. After the outburst, she runs off crying while the guy is just left standing there looking dumb. In a flash of light, his friend's face glows right before the memory fades away for good. Strolling through the palace in the present, the critter admits he still doesn't get the whole picture. Out of nowhere, Christina shows up, asking if the baby was waiting for her all by himself. Running to meet her, the chubby dude decides to show exactly what he learned about giving affection back. Standing on his two little paws, the kid takes his first wobbly steps, looking super proud. Full of hope, the MC thinks showing off his progress will make the babysitter finally fire the glowing snitch. But her reaction is to just burst into tears out of nowhere, leaving him completely shocked. Rushing in fast, the blonde goddess crushes the little guy in a massive bear hug. Suffocating in the middle of all that love, he wonders what on earth he did to deserve this punishment. Letting the mascot go, Christina suddenly remembers she brought a present for him. Curious, the starving dude immediately assumes the gift is food and gets his hopes way up. Explaining it's something chewable for someone who doesn't have teeth yet, the babysitter digs into her bag. In the goddess's hands, a mysterious item pops out, which she introduces as something super special. Glowing bright, the object is revealed to be the egg of an immortal bird of life and rebirth. Dropping the lore, Christina explains the magical stats of that relic. Looking at the silhouette of a fire phoenix, the kid figures the creature looks pretty hardcore. Sitting right on top of the egg, the chubby guy questions the logic of immortal beasts hatching from eggs. Completely ignoring the laws of nature, the mascot wiggles around on the shell, happy as a clam. With his little paw in the bag, the chubby dude pulls the egg right out. Giving the shell a few taps, our MC tries to crack his next meal open. Putting a little more muscle into it, the sharp claw finally cracks the thing. Scarfing down the insides like a boss, the hungry guy licks his chops while the babysitter just melts from the cuteness. Staring at the golden yolk, our boy hypes up the feast. Without thinking twice, the little MC takes a massive bite. Hugging his food, he chews down the divine delicacy in seconds. Super stoked, Christina explains that the meal was roasted in pure red dragon fire. Savoring every single drop, the kid notices a spark of magic mixed right into the flavor. Soon enough, the blonde goddess offers a bottle of milk, letting him know there's plenty of food left. Chugging the bottle in one go, the critter admits he really needs to watch his own appetite. Chewing on another yolk, the starving guy feels it literally melt in his mouth. Ready for round 2, our hero already grabs his next target. Except this time he bumps into a bright red egg that is as hard as a rock. Tossing the brick aside, the chubby guy decides to save that one for later. Stuffed to the brim, the kid flops on his back looking like a literal bowling ball. Laughing at the scene, the babysitter rubs his belly and says she's gonna go grab more supplies. Sneaking out, the goddess asks the little baby to take a nap while she's gone. Down the hall, the blonde's footsteps fade away, leaving the mascot all by himself. Fighting the sleep, the big eater lets out a heavy yawn, admitting he might have overdone it a bit. Knocked out by the food coma, our MC's eyes finally get way too heavy. Curled up on the pillow, the chubby guy passes out completely in the middle of the room. Suddenly, the fluffy ear twitches, signaling nap time is officially over. Blinking slowly, the little critter wakes up looking pretty disoriented. Stretching his little paws, our hero gets up from the makeshift bed. Scratching his head, the kid realizes he crashed super hard after lunch. Looking around, he notices his guardian still hasn't made it back to the room. However, a basket full of fresh treats grabs his attention instantly. Now that his food's digested, the starving guy decides he's got enough room for one more plate. Flapping his tiny wings, the little MC goes straight for the culinary attack. Trying to justify his gluttony, the kid swears to himself he just wants to absorb the magic from the food. Sinking his teeth into the red shell, the attack fails miserably. Surprised by the insane defense stats, the kid backs off instantly. Right away, he realizes it's that exact same rock-solid egg from earlier. Determined to solve this by force, our MC summons up his dark energy. Purple lightning wraps around his tiny body, showing playtime is officially over. With a lightning-fast strike, the charged claw hits the target dead center. Upon impact, a shockwave sends energy blasting everywhere. But to the critter's absolute outrage, the shell just glows without taking a single scratch. Flung backward by the recoil, the kid's jaw drops at the impenetrable defense. Sticking the landing with style, he gears up for round 2. Huffing with rage, our little MC announces he's going all out now. Gathering all the mana in his body, the power starts swirling dangerously in his little paws. Planted firmly on the ground, the chubby guy aims his ultimate attack straight at the obstacle. Unleashing ridiculous fury, the magic beam cuts through the air at max power. Backed by the black dragon spirit, the power explosion swallows the entire screen. A colossal pillar of light pierces the palace ceiling, lighting up the whole place. Landing on the ground exhausted, the kid pants, dying to know if the shield finally broke. Watching the smoke clear, he hypes up his own strength, thinking he's totally unbeatable. Drooling for a bite, the hungry dude steps up, ready for dinner. However, a weird noise coming from the dust makes the chubby guy freeze. Bursting out of the rubble, a totally unexpected little white body pops up. Bugging his eyes out, our MC doesn't understand a single thing that's going on. Instead of a hard-boiled yolk, a tiny, fluffy little bird pops out of the shells. Completely shell-shocked, the kid processes that he accidentally hatched his own meal. Shaking off its feathers, the newborn lets out a super happy chirp. Remembering the roasted food lore, the little MC wonders how the heck that thing even survived. Right after, his eagle eyes spot a familiar aura flowing through the critter. Glowing bright, the creature gives off pure fire magic mixed right in with our hero's dark power. The realization hits him instantly. His devastating attack just got totally absorbed by the little bird. Absolutely livid, the kid realizes all the hard work from his grinding went straight down the drain. Completely innocent, the little feather ball just pecks at the floor, ignoring the outrage completely. Glaring at the tiny thief, our boy complains about all the wasted effort he put into gathering that energy. With zero sense of danger, the little bird steps up and starts rubbing itself on his nose. Defeated by pure cuteness, the MC wonders if every phoenix is this clingy. Right in the middle of the petting session, a light bulb goes off in the chubby guy's brain. Meanwhile, the crazy powerful bird keeps chirping, begging for more attention. Remembering how divine beasts roll, the kid decides to test a pretty risky theory. Turning his back on the problem, our hero starts sprinting across the hall. Just as he thought, the little thief tracks his every move like a magnet. Pulling evasive maneuvers, the kid tries to shake it off, but the bird sticks to his tail without skipping a beat. Panting and wiped out, the chubby guy confirms the bird got imprinted and now totally thinks he's its mom. Too tired to fight it, the little MC decides to fly up somewhere high just to get 1 minute of peace. Down on the floor, the little white pest starts crying desperately, flapping its tiny wings. Laying down, satisfied with his escape, our boy closes his eyes thinking the problem is solved, but the annoying chirp still echoes nearby. Tired of screaming, the little white fluffball slowly starts losing its voice. Trembling with sleep, the little bird fights to keep its eyes open. Beaten by exhaustion, the birdie cries softly, begging for some attention. Hiding in the shadows, the kid feels like a total monster for making the newborn suffer that much. Right then, the door bursts open and the babysitter rushes in, super worried it took her so long. Carrying a huge bowl loaded with boiled eggs, Christina reveals she brought backup food just in case the baby woke up starving. With a gentle smile, she calls out for the mascot, looking around the room for him. Stepping on the cracked shells, the goddess figures the hungry little guy ate everything and went right back to sleep. When her eyes lock onto the bed, pure shock takes over the whole situation. Eyes wide open, the blonde lady has no clue where a little white feather duster popped up from in the middle of the sheets. Curled up next to the bird, our chubby dude is knocked out cold while the bird chills right on top of him. Super confused, the guardian remembers the egg and wonders if that thing could actually be a real-deal phoenix. Sensing the blonde's presence, the little white ball opens one suspicious eye. Jumping in fear, the little bird lets out a warning chirp, waking everybody up. Totally baffled, Christina analyzes the creature and confirms the insane energy radiating off it. Glowing with pure flames and dark magic, the tiny bird flexes a terrifying amount of power for a newborn. Feeling the mixed power, the goddess recognizes the little bird already has dragon-level defense stats. Admiring the sacred bird, the babysitter knows it has the special ability to travel between the godly realms. Staring at this cosmic scene, the blonde lady feels like destiny brought these two together for some bigger purpose. Trying to give it a pet, the goddess pulls back, scared to force it and spook the mystical beast. Puffed up, the bird goes into full defense mode, ready to throw down. Real quick, the chubby guy wakes up and yanks the little troublemaker, telling it to respect their benefactor. Totally melting, Christina asks if he likes his brand new little buddy. Deep in thought, the blonde lady remembers that only one phoenix is born per generation. Holding her breath, she realizes that little baby is the new immortal bird for this era. Flapping his tiny wings, the kid thinks the theory is super weird because the phoenix from his own generation is still kicking. Worried about the balance of the world, the goddess suspects something seriously messed up is going down. Summoning the glowing snitch, the babysitter decides she can't just let this slide. Calling Rai's spirit, the guardian says she urgently needs to speak with Pasias, the elder of the red dragons. Getting the message, the little fairy flies off, leaving the blonde feeling a bit more relieved. Waving goodbye, Christina trusts the baby is gonna behave on his own. The second the door closes, the MC celebrates finally getting some free time to grind. Despite her initial worries, the goddess trusts the kid is mature enough to handle things. Flashbacks show the kid has some freakishly high intelligence for his age. Unlike the other pups who just spam magic randomly, the chubby guy has absolute control. Focused on the mystery, the blonde knows the boy is a straight-up anomaly genius. Thinking back on the past, Christina wonders if the old master did something to the baby's body. Walking down the halls, the goddess decides to push her suspicions aside. Accepting fate, the guardian swears to protect the kid no matter where he came from. With a confident smile, she promises to be back soon to take care of her little monster. Before leaving, the blonde mentions she's gonna hook him up with a training partner. Talking about the elder's son, the babysitter drops that the kid is also a magical prodigy. Dropping a hint, Christina bets that hanging out together is gonna help both of them level up. Smiling at the win, she hopes the two become best buds, while the screen pans to a red-haired kid reading a book by the window. Before leaving, the blonde tells the guide fairy she trusts it to report any problems. Looking the mascot right in the eye, she asks him to stick close to the glowing spy. Looking bored, the kid doesn't understand why she hasn't left yet. Squeezing his cheeks, the goddess can't resist giving him one last cuddle. Rubbing her face against the baby, she dotes on the chubby little guy who just wants her to leave already. Complaining mentally, the protagonist can't stand being treated like a stuffed animal anymore. Finally, the door closes and silence reigns in the luxurious hall. Showing off the grandeur of the place, the room exudes wealth and magic. Smiling from ear to ear, our hero celebrates the chance to make a move. Raising his little paws in the air, he cheers for his long-awaited freedom. Looking at his own bed, he dismisses the idea of hibernating like a normal newborn. Because of the guardian doting on him so much, he hasn't been able to train properly lately. Determined to explore, he starts walking, and the glowing spy follows him without question. Christening the new bird, the chubby little guy names the birdie Gabai as he walks. Happily repeating the name, the white creature hops beside him while the kid judges its stupidity. With a quick leap, our protagonist puts the little bird on his back so he doesn't have to keep waiting for it. Ignoring the snitch's complaints, the kid hurries forward. In his own mind, he'd rather carry the extra weight than let the creature keep squawking. With determined steps, the unlikely duo explores the gigantic hallway. Spotting a shiny doorknob, the boy calculates the perfect jump to reach it. Preparing to pounce, he focuses and gathers momentum in his hind paws. With the energy of an athlete, the little creature flies toward the target. Digging his claws into the metal, he pulls the latch down hard. But since he has rotten luck, the metallic clack lets him know it's locked. Noticing how calm the spy is, the kid concludes the watcher already knew the escape attempt would fail. Underestimating the chubby little guy's abilities, everyone thinks he's just a normal baby. Commanding his dark mana, the hero melts the lock's bolt in an instant. With a push, the majestic door slowly opens, revealing the outside world. Watching the light fairy's reaction, the protagonist wonders if the alarm is going to go off. Blinking in shock, the watcher isn't sure if it should snitch on the mascot's mischief. To the chubby guy's surprise, the spirit decides to mind its own business, giving him a veiled permission. With a mischievous smile, he wonders why the snitch is suddenly being so nice. Accepting the easy win, our boy passes through the door without looking back. Slipping past the doorframe, he leaves the comfort of the room behind. Amazed by the size of the palace, his eyes shine with excitement. The hallways alone are much bigger than he imagined. Understanding the logic, the protagonist realizes they didn't install bars because the distances are absurd. Even if a baby tried to escape on foot, they wouldn't get very far in this maze. With his short little legs, the hero walks, feeling the burden of his slow pace. But with a sinister smile, he admits he was prepared for this setback. Casting spatial magic, the chubby little guy gets ready to break the system. Memorizing the mana flow from when the goddess used to teleport him. Focused, the little creature makes the ambient energy resonate with his own body. Reading the structure of the lair, he considers himself ready to test out teleportation. Seeing the glowing spy getting ready to alert Christina, the kid speeds up the process. Laughing at the watcher's sluggishness, the protagonist tells it that it's already too late. Activating the magic circle at max power, the duo vanishes in a flash of blue light. Appearing midair, the kid and the little bird go into a free fall. Dazzled by the vast green expanse below, the boy is left speechless. Unlike his old world, which was dead, this one is pure and full of life. Remembering one crucial detail, the hero suddenly realizes he is plummeting. With the ground approaching dangerously fast, the little birdie pulls the chubby guy by the hair on his head. The impact shatters the ground, tossing both of them and the glowing watcher into the dirt. Groaning in pain, the kid blames the thin air for not being able to open his wings in time. Looking at the fairy who is shaking like a leaf, the protagonist finds its panic odd. Thinking about how the goddess made teleportation look so easy. Putting the pieces together, the boy realizes that this skill isn't for just anyone. He deduces that Christina would have left a heavy escort if she knew he could use high-level magic.